Welcome, dear listener. Tonight's sleep story will take you into a small cafe on a rainy city street. It's a warm, amber-lit place where worries soften and the steady rain taps the windows. You don't have to do anything perfectly. You don't have to stay awake to the end. So before we step inside, let's take a few easy breaths. Breathe in slowly through your nose and breathe out gently through your mouth. One more breath in and a soft breath out. Let your shoulders drop. Let your jaw unclench. Let your body feel heavy and supported. And when you're ready, we'll begin. Outside, the evening is cooling down. Not winter, not yet, but the air has that thin edge that makes your hands want a pocket. Rain falls with patience, a quiet, steady rhythm. Nothing dramatic, nothing loud, just constant and simply there. It darkens the sidewalk. It deepens the color of brick and asphalt. It makes streetlights look softer. Cars pass and their tires whisper through shallow water. A bus sighs at a stop. Somewhere, a crosswalk chirps, gentle and far away. And tucked into the corner, between a dry cleaner and a narrow bookstore, there's a cafe. Small, unhurried. A place with one wide window, fogged at the edges. A place where warm light spills out like honey. The sign outside doesn't shout. It simply glows. Inside, the air is warmer. A few degrees warmer than the street. Warm enough to make your shoulders feel less tense. Warm enough to turn your breath into nothing at all. The floor is wood, worn smooth in a few spots. The tables are small, round tops, dark legs. There are chairs that do not match perfectly, but somehow look as if they belong. A shelf of mugs sits behind the counter. Ceramic, stoneware, a few with tiny chips that make them feel more real. There's a soft hum from the fridge, a faint, friendly rattle from the rain against the window. And there is the smell of something comforting. Not a sharp perfume, not too sweet, just warmth. Toasted bread, a little cinnamon, a gentle note of cocoa, and the clean scent of hot water. The cafe is run by one person, a man in his early 30s, moving with quiet intention. His name is Ethan. He isn't the type to greet the world with big gestures. He doesn't have a booming voice, but there's a steady kindness in the way he moves, in the way he notices a cup that needs rinsing, a chair that should be nudged back into place. Ethan wipes the counter in slow, even strokes. He keeps a small towel folded neatly. He rinses a spoon, sets it down. He checks the pastry case, not because he expects a sudden rush, but because it feels good to keep things in gentle order. There are a few pastries left, a slice of banana bread wrapped and tidy, a couple of scones with a sugared top, a small plate of shortbread cookies, pale and buttery, The cafe isn't fancy, but it is cared for. There's a difference. Ethan glances at the clock, not with stress, just with awareness. Evenings like this move slowly, and he likes that. He likes rainy nights, not because he's trying to be poetic. He just likes how rain makes the world quieter, less demanding, as if the city itself is taking a long breath. When the rain comes, fewer people hurry in. Fewer people rush him. Fewer people expect bright, cheerful small talk. Rain gives Ethan permission to be calm. And after the last guests leave, after the chairs are stacked, after the lights are lowered, he has a small ritual. A notebook, a pen, a few lines about the day. Nothing dramatic, just a record, a way to put the day down, somewhere outside his body, so it doesn't have to live in his shoulders, or in his jaw, or in that tight place between his ribs and his breath. Ethan didn't always imagine this would be his life. If you asked him when he was 18, he might have shrugged. College happened because it seemed like the next step. Friends were going. Time would keep moving either way. And there was a part of him that didn't want to rush into anything. He didn't have a single blazing dream pulling him forward. So he chose the path that felt possible. He studied. He attended lectures. He took exams. And he worked part-time at a cafe. This cafe. Not because he was obsessed with coffee. Not because he had a grand plan. But because the work made sense. There was a rhythm to it. A beginning. A middle. An end. A shift that started and then finished. A counter you could wipe clean. A cup you could rinse until it was clear. When other students talked about passion and ambition, Ethan listened politely. He never felt jealous. Not exactly. More like confused. Like he was hearing a language he understood, but didn't speak. During the job hunting season, he tried to imagine himself in an office, tried to imagine the excitement people described, but nothing clicked. No role called his name. And when the cafe manager offered him a full-time position, Ethan said yes. Not with fireworks, just with quiet relief. He worked. He showed up. He learned the routines. And somewhere along the way, the cafe changed hands. A retirement, a small transition. And Ethan, steady and reliable, found himself inheriting the keys. Now he runs the place alone. Not because he's chasing a big dream. Not because he wants to prove something. But because the pace fits him. Because his life doesn't need to be bright and loud to be meaningful. He doesn't buy much. He doesn't crave new things. He isn't collecting trophies. He's collecting evenings, quiet ones, rainy ones. And if he's honest, what he likes most about this work is something simple. People come in carrying their own stories, and sometimes If the moment is right, they share a little. Not the loud, polished version, the real version, the tired version, the version you only say when you feel safe. Ethan doesn't interrupt. He doesn't rush. He listens like it matters, because to him it does. If you're still awake, you don't need to hold the whole story. You can let it arrive in small pieces, like warm light through a fogged window. And if you drift, that's perfectly okay. The rain will keep going, and you can rest. Ethan turns toward the espresso machine. It's quiet now. No rush of orders. Just the soft glow of a few buttons. He runs a quick rinse cycle, listening to the gentle hiss and the small rush of water. He dries the steam wand. He sets a clean cup on the counter. He keeps things ready, because rainy nights still bring visitors, not crowds, just people. One by one, people who step in for warmth, for a drink, for a pause in the middle of a long week. The bell above the door gives a small chime, not loud, just bright enough to cut through the hush. Ethan looks up. A man stands in the doorway for a beat, shaking rain from his jacket. Early 30s, dark hair pressed down slightly by the weather, a messenger bag slung over one shoulder. His face has that look of someone who has been on all day, smiling, nodding, performing. And now the performance has finally ended. He steps inside, and the warm air seems to meet him like a blanket. Evening, Ethan says. His voice is calm. The man offers a quick smile. Hey, he says, hope you're still open. We are, Ethan says. Come in. The man moves farther inside, and the bell settles again. He unzips his jacket, runs a hand through damp hair. He looks around the cafe as if he's checking that it's real, as if he's checking that it's allowed to be quiet here. Sit wherever, Ethan says. No rush. Thanks, the man says. He chooses a table near the window, not right at the glass, just close enough to watch the rain. He places his bag on the chair beside him. Then he exhales, a long, slow breath, the kind of breath you don't realize you've been holding until you finally let it go. Ethan approaches with a small notepad. What can I get you? The man glances at the menu, but it feels more like habit than curiosity. Coffee, he says. Something strong. Ethan nods. Sure. The man hesitates, then adds, maybe something sweet too, whatever you recommend. Ethan's mouth softens into a small smile. Banana bread's good, he says. Not too sweet. That sounds perfect, the man replies. Ethan writes it down. And your name? Ethan asks. Not because he needs it, but because it makes the moment feel human. Marcus, the man says. Marcus Reed. Got it, Ethan says. coffee and banana bread. Marcus gives a grateful nod. As Ethan turns away, Marcus rests his forearms on the table. He looks at his hands as if they belong to someone else. The rain keeps tapping the window. Steady, patient. Marcus watches it for a moment. Then he lets his gaze wander across the cafe. The shelves, the mugs, the soft light under the counter. He looks like someone who spends most days in bright places. Offices, cars, restaurants with loud music, places where silence feels suspicious. But here, silence feels earned. Ethan moves behind the counter, measuring coffee grounds with slow care. He locks the portafilter in place. A soft click. He starts the shot. The machine hums, steady and low. Dark liquid streams into the cup. The smell rises immediately. Bitter in a good way. Warm, grounding. Ethan warms a small plate for the banana bread. He slices it carefully. Not too thick, not too thin. He adds a small spoon and a napkin. Then he carries everything to Marcus's table. "Here you go," he says. Marcus looks up, and his whole face changes a little, like someone turning down a heavy bag. "Thanks," he says. "Seriously, this is exactly what I needed." Ethan gives a small nod. "No problem." He doesn't hover. He returns to the counter, but he stays present, close enough, available without pushing. Marcus takes a sip. The coffee is hot. He winces slightly, then smiles. He takes another sip, slower this time. Then he breaks off a small piece of banana bread. It's soft, warm from the plate, a little buttery, a little comforting. He chews slowly, eyes drifting to the rain again. After a moment, Marcus speaks, not loudly, almost like he's talking to the window. "Do you ever get tired," he says, "of being good at something?" Ethan glances up. He doesn't answer too fast. He lets the question settle. "Sometimes," Ethan says. "Yeah." Marcus lets out a quiet laugh. "Right?" he says. "It sounds ridiculous." "It doesn't," Ethan replies. Marcus shakes his head as if he's trying to reset his thoughts. "I'm in sales," he says. "B2B software. Always have been, right out of school." Ethan nods. Marcus continues. "I was one of those guys," he says, "who actually liked it." He smiles. A real one. "I liked the chase, the numbers, the little wins." He taps the edge of his cup lightly. "I liked being the one who could walk into a room and make things happen." Ethan listens. Marcus takes another sip, then goes on. "And I'm still good," he says. "I'm doing well, on paper." He pauses, staring at the coffee, as if it might explain something. "But lately, I'm just tired." The word lands softly. Not dramatic, just honest. Marcus rubs his forehead with his thumb. "It's not the work, exactly," he says. "It's all the extra." Ethan's eyes stay gentle. Marcus exhales. "Clients who want everything right now," he says. And if you say no, you're not a team player. He gives a small, tired grin. You know how it goes. Ethan nods. Marcus continues. I've always been the guy who says yes, he says, who takes the call late, who answers the email fast. He looks up. His eyes are clear, but heavy. I used to think that was the point, he says. Work hard, climb, get the title, get the money. He shrugs. And it worked. He says the last part like he's surprised. Like success in this moment feels less like victory and more like a complicated receipt. Ethan places a hand on the counter, steadying himself there, as if listening is also a kind of work. Marcus stares out at the rain. Then he speaks again, more quietly. I got married, he says, and we had a kid. The word kid softens his face, like a light turning on, somewhere deep. My son's little, he says, still in that stage where he changes every week. He swallows, and I'm missing it. The cafe feels even quieter, not because Ethan is making it so, because Marcus is finally saying what he's been carrying. I come home, Marcus says, and he's asleep. He gives a small, helpless shrug. And in the morning, I'm already checking my phone. He shakes his head, as if he wants to toss the phone out the window. I tell myself it's temporary, he says, that it's for them, for the future. He looks down at his hands again. But then sometimes I think, who am I doing this for? He smiles, but it's thin, because it feels like I'm doing it for the next number. Ethan doesn't rush in with advice. He doesn't say, quit. He doesn't say, work less. He just lets Marcus be heard. Ethan pours himself a small glass of water. He brings it over, quietly setting it down near Marcus's plate. Marcus looks up. Thanks, he says. Ethan nods. Then, gently, Ethan speaks. Can I ask something? He says. Sure, Marcus replies. When you picture your best day, Ethan says, what's in it? Marcus blinks. He looks almost amused. My best day? He echoes. Ethan nods. Marcus leans back in his chair. He stares at the ceiling for a moment, like he's searching through a file cabinet. Then his expression changes. Not dramatically, just softer. I'm not in a suit, Marcus says, almost surprised. Ethan's mouth curves slightly. Marcus continues slowly. I'm wearing a hoodie, he says, and sneakers. He looks down at his own shoes, as if remembering what they feel like. And I'm with my family, he says. He pauses, then adds, I'm not checking my phone. He says it like a confession, like a wish he isn't sure he's allowed to want. Ethan nods. Marcus keeps talking, as if the words are finally finding a place to land. My son is laughing, he says. Like that real laugh, the one where he throws his whole body into it. His eyes brighten for a second. And my wife is there, he says, and she doesn't look tired of me. The last part is quiet. Ethan stays still. Marcus swallows. That's my best day, he says, voice low. Not a big deal, just normal. Ethan nods once. That doesn't sound small, Ethan says. That sounds important. Marcus lets out a breath. He looks relieved, and also a little sad. Yeah, he says. It does, and that's the problem. Ethan tilts his head, inviting the next part, without forcing it. Marcus looks out at the rain again. I built my life around being intense, he says. Around being the guy who can push harder than everyone else. He shakes his head slowly. And now, the thing I want most is to push less. He laughs quietly. I don't even know how to do that. Ethan takes a moment. He watches Marcus's cup, the faint steam still rising. He listens to the rain. Then he says carefully, "You don't have to change everything at once," he says. Marcus looks at him. Ethan continues, "But you might be allowed to make one small choice," he says. "That points you toward that best day." Marcus's brow furrows. "One small choice?" he repeats. Ethan nods. "Something tiny," he says. "Not dramatic." He gestures lightly toward the window. Like choosing to step in here tonight, he says. Instead of driving home, still on fire. Marcus looks at the cafe as if he's seeing it for the first time. Ethan adds, "You already did that." Marcus's shoulders drop a fraction. He looks almost embarrassed. "Yeah," he says. "I guess." Ethan gives a small, understanding smile. "And maybe," Ethan says, "tomorrow you do one more tiny thing." Marcus waits. Ethan speaks gently. "Maybe you leave your phone in the other room for 10 minutes, he says. Marcus laughs quietly. "That sounds impossible," he says. Ethan nods. "Maybe 5 minutes, he says. Marcus's laugh becomes something warmer. 5 minutes, he repeats, as if trying it on. Ethan continues. "Or maybe," he says, "when you walk in the door, you do one thing first." Marcus looks at him. Ethan says, "Before the emails, before the messages." He pauses. "Maybe you just pick him up." Marcus's eyes flicker. A small movement, like the idea hit something tender. Ethan doesn't push. He just lets it be there. Marcus looks down at the banana bread. He takes a bite, slowly. Then he says, "I used to think being good at work was how I loved them." Ethan nods. Marcus continues, voice quiet. "Like, if I provide enough, I'm doing my job." He swallows. "But maybe they need me in a different way too." Ethan's eyes stay calm. "Maybe," Ethan says. He doesn't say it like a lecture. He says it like a door opening just a little. Marcus watches the rain for a moment. Then he asks, almost shyly, "Do you ever feel like you missed something?" Ethan breathes in, slowly. He thinks of college. He thinks of friends who moved to big cities, who chased big careers, who posted bright photos and big announcements. He thinks of times he wondered if he should have wanted more. Then he thinks of this cafe, this warmth, this quiet, the simple steadiness of a place that helps people feel human again. "I think," Ethan says, "everyone misses something." Marcus nods. Ethan continues, "But sometimes," he says, "the thing you think you missed is just a story you were told about what matters." Marcus looks at him. Ethan says, "Maybe what matters is closer than that." Marcus sits still. Rain taps the window. The cafe glows. Marcus takes a sip of coffee. Slower now, as if he's learning how to drink without rushing. Then he says softly, "I don't want my kid to remember me as a guy on a phone." The sentence is simple, but it carries weight. Ethan nods. "You're allowed to want something different," Ethan says. Marcus's jaw tightens, not with anger, with feeling. He blinks a few times, then looks down. "I didn't know I needed to hear that," he says. Ethan's voice stays gentle. "Sometimes," he says, "we just need permission." Marcus lets out a slow breath. He looks at the cafe again, at the warm light, at the quiet order, at the rain doing its steady work outside. And then, as if a memory has been waiting for the right moment, Marcus's gaze goes distant. Years ago, Marcus was younger, fresh out of school. He wore a suit that didn't quite fit right. The shoulders were stiff. The sleeves were a little long, but he wore it like armor. He was hungry then, not for food, for proof, for the feeling that he could build something with his own effort. His first sales job was all bright lights and loud voices, a bullpen of desks, phones ringing, managers pacing, with coffee in hand. Every conversation felt like a test. Marcus learned quickly. He learned how to smile into a phone, how to sound confident even when his stomach was tight, how to take rejection and move on without letting it show. And then, one day, he landed a deal. Not a small one, a real one. The kind that makes your manager clap you on the back a little too hard. The kind that makes your coworkers look at you differently. Marcus remembers walking out of the building that night with the city lights shining wetly on the pavement. It had rained that day too. Not like this soft, steady rain, more like a quick storm that left everything slick and bright. Marcus remembers standing under an awning and calling his mom. His voice was loud with excitement. "Mom," he said, "I did it." He could hear her smile through the phone. He could hear how proud she was, and for a moment, Marcus felt perfectly solid, like he belonged, like he had a place in the world. Later, he met a few friends at a bar. They toasted, they laughed. Marcus drank beer that tasted like metal and victory. He stayed out late. He went home and fell into bed, still wearing the feeling of being chosen. And in the morning, he woke up and wanted it again, that feeling, that proof. So he chased it, year after year, deal after deal, and he became the guy people called when they needed results. He became the guy who could handle pressure. He became the guy who always said yes. And now, sitting in a small cafe on a quiet rainy night, Marcus can see it clearly. The version of him who stood under that awning, calling his mom. He wasn't chasing money. Not really. He was chasing the feeling of being loved, of being proud, of being seen. And somehow, over time, the chase got faster. The numbers got bigger. The emails got louder. And the thing he wanted most got softer, quieter, more easily missed. A child's laugh, a wife's relaxed smile, a home that feels like a place you live, not a place you stop by. Marcus blinks, and the cafe returns. The rain returns, the warm light, the smell of coffee. He looks at Ethan. Ethan is still there, not staring, not judging, just present. Marcus swallows. That's why it's confusing, Marcus says quietly. Ethan nods. Because you were good at it, Ethan says. Marcus lets out a breath of agreement. And because you built something real, Ethan adds. That matters too. Marcus looks relieved, as if Ethan didn't erase his hard work, as if Ethan didn't say, it was all pointless. Ethan continues gently. But you can build something else too, he says. Marcus's eyes soften. Something quieter, Ethan says. Something that doesn't need as much proof. Marcus sits back. He looks at the window. The rain is still there, steady as breath. He murmurs, almost to himself, something that doesn't need as much proof. Ethan nods. Marcus finishes the last bite of banana bread. He wipes his fingers with a napkin, slowly, not rushed, as if practicing. Then he takes one last sip of coffee. He looks down at his phone, sitting on the table. It hasn't lit up. Or maybe it has, and he didn't notice. Either way, it doesn't matter, for this moment. Marcus slides the phone into his bag. He closes the flap. The movement is small, but it feels like a choice. He looks up. Hey, he says, do you have, like a pen? Ethan blinks, then smiles. Yeah, he says. Sure. He brings Marcus a pen and a small scrap of paper, the kind used for quick notes, order reminders, little things. Marcus looks at the paper. He hesitates. Then he writes. Just a few words, not a speech, not a dramatic promise. When he's done, he He folds the paper once, then he stands. He slips on his jacket. He picks up his bag. He looks at Ethan, and his smile is different now. Not the sales smile, not the polished one, a tired, honest one. Thanks, Marcus says, for listening. Ethan nods. Anytime. Marcus pauses near the counter. He reaches into his pocket for cash, then stops. Do you have a tip jar? He asks. Ethan gestures to a small jar near the register. Coins, a few folded bills. Simple. Marcus drops in a couple of bills. Then, carefully, he places the folded paper beside the jar. Not obvious, not showy, just there. Ethan notices, but he doesn't read it. Not yet. He simply nods, as if accepting something delicate. Marcus pulls open the door. The bell chimes softly. Cool air slips in. Rain breathes in. Marcus steps out, and the city takes him back. But something about his posture has shifted. His shoulders are still tired, but they're lower, like he's not bracing for impact anymore. Ethan watches him through the window for a moment. Marcus walks carefully on the wet sidewalk. He turns the corner. He disappears into the rain, and the cafe returns to its hush. Ethan stands behind the counter. He looks at the folded paper by the jar. He doesn't open it. Not immediately. He lets it sit there like a quiet warmth, like a small light left on. Then he turns back to the sink. He rinses a plate. He dries a mug. He listens to the rain. And somewhere in the soft rhythm of the evening, the cafe feels ready again. Ready for whoever might step in next. Ready for another story to land gently in the warm air. You can let your mind go soft now. You don't have to remember every word, just the feeling. Warm light, steady rain, a place that asks nothing from you. And if sleep is nearby, you can let it come. The bell above the door settles back into stillness. Rain keeps tapping the window. A quiet, steady rhythm. Ethan wipes the counter again. Not because it needs it, but because his hands like small, simple work. He glances at the folded note near the tip jar. He doesn't open it. Not yet. He lets it be a small mystery, a little kindness left on the counter like warmth. Ethan fills a glass carafe with fresh water. He resets a few napkins. He checks the pastry case. Outside, the sky deepens. Streetlights glow brighter. The rain looks thicker in their light. And then, the bell chimes again. A lighter sound this time, as if the door opened with less weight. A woman steps inside, shaking rain from her coat. She's in her early 30s, hair tucked into a knit beanie, cheeks pink from the cold air. She carries a tote bag that looks well used, and her smile arrives first, bright, easy, like she's walking into a place she already likes. Hi, she says. Are you still open? Ethan nods. Yeah, come in. Thank you, she says. and her voice is warm too. She pulls off her beanie, shaking out her hair. Then she looks around with quick, curious eyes. "Wow," she says. "This is really cozy." Ethan gives a small smile. "It's a good night for it." "It really is," she says. She steps closer to the counter, hands rubbing together for warmth. "What do you recommend?" she asks. "Something comforting." Ethan gestures toward the menu, but his voice stays simple. "Hot chocolate," he says, "or a latte." She makes a face, playful. "I drink too much coffee already." Ethan nods, understanding. "Hot chocolate," he says. "We make it thick." Her eyes widen. "Sold." Ethan reaches for a mug. "And maybe a cookie?" she adds, because the rain is basically a reason to. Ethan's smile grows slightly. "Shortbread." "Perfect," she says. Ethan asks for her name. "Jade," she says. "Jade Morgan." "Hot chocolate and shortbread," Ethan repeats. "Got it." Jade chooses a table near the back wall where a small shelf holds a few books and a tiny plant. She drops into the chair like it's a soft landing. She pulls out her phone. The screen glows in her hands. Her expression stays upbeat, but her eyes move quickly, scrolling, checking, as if she's making sure something is still true. Ethan brings her mug. Steam rises, thick and sweet. The chocolate smells deep, cocoa and milk, and something faintly spicy, like a hint of cinnamon. He sets the cookie beside it. Jade's face brightens. "Oh, wow," she says. "This looks unreal." Ethan nods. It's a rainy night drink. Jade takes a careful sip. Her shoulders relax instantly. Her eyes close for half a second. Then she opens them and lets out a soft laugh. "Okay," she says. "This is actually perfect." Ethan returns to the counter, but the cafe is small, quiet enough that conversation can happen without effort. Jade wraps her hands around the mug. She watches the rain for a moment. Then she calls lightly. "Do you mind if I ask you something?" Ethan looks over. "Sure." Jade hesitates. Then she smiles again. But the smile looks a little practiced now. "Do you ever feel like you're supposed to be grateful all the time?" she asks. Ethan's eyebrows lift slightly. Jade keeps talking, as if she's worried the question will evaporate. "Like," she says, "everything is going well, so you should just be happy." Ethan nods slowly. "I think people feel that." Jade exhales, relieved. "Right," she says. "Exactly." She taps the side of the mug with her finger. "I do travel content," she says. "Food spots, little hotels, local cafes." She smiles quick. "It sounds like a dream." And it is, mostly. Ethan listens. Jade continues. "I fly a lot," she says. "I'm always somewhere." She gestures vaguely, as if the whole map is behind her. "I get invited places, I do partnerships, I post, I edit, I plan the next thing. She laughs softly. And I'm good at it, she adds. I actually like it. Ethan nods. Jade's voice lowers. But sometimes, she says, I hear this imaginary voice. Ethan stays still. Jade looks down at her phone on the table. The voice says, she continues, how long can you do this? She looks up quickly, smile back in place. Not because I'm tired, she says. I mean, I'm tired, sure. She lifts the mug a little. But it's more like, what if it stops? Ethan nods. Jade goes on. My friends from school, she says. They're settling down. She makes a small, careful shrug. Marriages, babies, houses. She pauses. And I'm in another airport. Her smile fades slightly. No one says anything to my face, she says. They're nice, supportive. She stirs her hot chocolate slowly. But sometimes I feel like I can hear the thought anyway. Ethan waits. Jade says, when are you going to stop playing around? She laughs, but it's thin. And then I get annoyed with myself, she adds, because I am happy. She presses her palm to her chest, as if insisting. I worked hard for this. I built it. She looks at Ethan. So why? She asks. Do I still get that weird feeling, like I'm behind? Ethan breathes out quietly. He doesn't answer fast. He looks at the rain. Then he says, do you like the life you're living? Jade blinks. Her eyes move up and left, as if she's searching for a safe response. Then she smiles more honestly. Yes, she says. I do. Ethan nods. And do you feel safe in it? He asks. Jade's smile pauses. There it is. She looks down again. She rolls the mug a fraction in her hands. I don't know, she admits. Not always. Ethan nods. Jade swallows. It's like, if I stop, she says, everything disappears. She laughs softly again, almost embarrassed. Followers, opportunities, money. She lifts her hands, palms up. And it's not like I'm rich, she adds. I do okay, but it's this moving machine. Ethan listens. Jade continues. And I know, she says. I know comparison is a trap. She smiles. I literally say that in my caption sometimes. Ethan's mouth softens. But still, Jade says, when I'm scrolling at night and I see someone my age posting a baby bump or a new house, she stops. She looks at Ethan with a small, honest openness. I get this weird tightness, she says. Like, am I doing it wrong? The cafe holds the question, quietly. Ethan steps closer to the table. He doesn't tower. He just comes near enough to make the conversation feel grounded. He says, I think there are two kinds of right. Jade tilts her head. Ethan continues. One is what people expect, he says. The script. Jade nods, slowly. And the other Ethan says, is what fits you. Jade's face softens. Ethan adds, and sometimes they match. He pauses, and sometimes they don't. Jade stares into her mug. Steam curls. Her shoulders drop. I'm not sure what fits me long term, she admits. Ethan nods. Maybe you don't have to know all at once, he says. Jade looks up. Ethan continues, gentle. Maybe you just need a few small anchors, he says. Things that are yours, even if the internet changes. Jade's eyes flicker. Anchors, she repeats. Ethan nods. Friends, he says. Routines, a place that feels like home. Jade's mouth twists slightly. Home is complicated, she says. Ethan doesn't pry. He just says, then maybe it's something else. Jade looks at the rain. She takes a sip. Then she speaks quietly. I keep thinking I should be saving more, she says. Planning more. She laughs softly. But then I'm like, I'm literally traveling for work. This is the point. Ethan nods. Jade continues. And I also feel like if I plan too much, I'll ruin it. Ethan's expression stays calm. Jade stares at her hands. Then she says, I don't want to wake up at 40 and realize I didn't build anything real. Ethan pauses. He looks at the shelf near her table. A few books. A small plant. He says, can I tell you something that might sound simple? Jade smiles slightly. Sure. Ethan says, real doesn't always mean permanent. Jade blinks. Ethan continues. Sometimes real means, he says, you were fully there for your own life. Jade's eyes soften. Ethan adds, and you can still build stability. He gestures lightly. Just gently, he says, without punishing yourself. Jade exhales. Then, as if the rain reminded her of something, her gaze goes distant, and a small memory opens in her mind. Jade is younger, not a child, but not the version of her who knows airports by heart. She's in her tiny apartment after college, a place with mismatched dishes and a second-hand couch. Her laptop is open. The room is dim. She's editing a video for fun. Not sponsored, not planned, just a little montage of a weekend trip, a train ride, a cheap noodle shop, a funny sign on a street. She adds music, laughing quietly at her own timing. She uploads it without expectations. Then she goes to bed. The next morning, her phone is buzzing. Comments, likes, shares. Nothing huge, but enough to feel like a door cracked open. Jade remembers walking to work that day with her heart beating fast. She remembers thinking, wait, people liked that. She remembers the feeling of being surprised by her own joy, as if she discovered a small truth inside herself. I like making this, not because it's impressive, because it feels alive. And that memory still holds warmth, not the warmth of success, the warmth of honesty. Jade blinks. The cafe returns. She looks at Ethan as if she's seeing him and herself more clearly. "I did start it because it made me happy," she says. Ethan nods. Jade continues, quieter. "And now I'm scared to lose it." Ethan says, "That makes sense." Jade's eyes sting slightly. She smiles, embarrassed. "I'm not going to cry over hot chocolate," she says. Ethan gives a small smile. "You don't have to cry," he says, "and you don't have to be tough." Jade laughs softly. Then she says, "Anchors," she repeats. "Yeah." She looks down at her phone. Then she turns it over, face down. "A small choice." She says, "I think I need 1 day a week." Ethan nods. Jade continues. "1 day where I don't post," she says. "Or at least, I don't scroll." She looks up, as if waiting for judgment. Ethan just says, "That sounds kind." Jade exhales, relieved. She finishes her cookie. She drinks the last of her chocolate, slowly, savoring. When she stands, she pulls her beanie on again. She smiles at Ethan, warm. "Thank you," she says, "for making this place." Ethan nods. "Anytime." Jade pauses near the counter. She reaches into her tote, pulls out a small card, a business card, the kind people use for collaborations. She hesitates, then writes on the back. A quick note, a small private one. Then she places it in the tip jar, tucked between bills. Not flashy, just present. She gives Ethan a quick, bright smile. "Good night," she says. "Good night," Ethan replies. The bell chimes softly as she steps into the rain. Ethan watches the door close. The cafe warms back into stillness. He returns to the counter. He wipes a spoon. He rinses a mug. And the rain continues. If you're feeling sleepy now, you can let that be true. You don't need to keep up. You can let the story move on without you. And if you're awake, that's okay too. There is nothing you need to fix tonight. The next visitor arrives more quietly. No bright voice, no quick laugh, just the door opening, slowly. The bell makes a small, uncertain chime. Someone steps in and pauses, as if deciding whether they belong. It's an older woman, not elderly, but past the stage where she feels rushed. Late 50s maybe. A coat buttoned carefully, a scarf wrapped with purpose. Her hair is tucked behind her ears. She carries an umbrella that looks new, still stiff. She closes it with care, as if the sound might be too loud. Ethan looks up. "Evening," he says. The woman nods. "Evening," she replies. Her voice is soft. Ethan gestures gently. "Come in," he says. "It's warm." She steps farther inside. She takes a slow breath. Her shoulders rise and fall, like she didn't realize how cold she was. Ethan asks, "What can I get you?" She looks at the menu for longer than necessary. Not because she can't read, because choosing feels heavy today. Finally, she says, "Tea," she says. "Something plain." Ethan nods. "Chamomile?" he asks. "Or black tea?" She hesitates. "Chamomile," she says. "And if you have honey?" Ethan smiles slightly. "Of course." He asks for her name. After a beat, she answers. "Margot," she says. "Margot Ellis." Ethan repeats it softly. "Chamomile with honey." Margot nods. She chooses a seat near the window, but not directly facing out. A seat angled slightly so she can see the rain without being fully exposed. She keeps her coat on. She folds her hands in her lap. Ethan brings the tea. The mug is warm, and the scent of chamomile rises gently. He sets down a small dish of honey and a spoon. Margot's eyes flick to it, as if she's grateful for the extra care. "Thank you," she says. "You're welcome," Ethan replies. Margot stirs honey into the tea. The spoon clinks softly. She lifts the mug with both hands. She takes a careful sip, and her face shifts just slightly, as if the warmth found a place inside her that needed it. Ethan returns to the counter. The cafe is quiet again. Margot looks at the rain. She watches it for a long time. Finally, she speaks. Not to Ethan at first, almost to herself. "It's strange," she says, "how rain makes a room feel bigger." Ethan pauses. He doesn't push. He just says, "Yeah." Margot glances toward him. Then she looks down into her tea. "I wasn't going to come in," she says. "I was going to walk past." Ethan nods. Margot continues, voice steady but gentle. "I've been out all day," she says. She doesn't say where, but the tiredness in her tone carries its own story. "And now it's evening," she says, "and I'm not sure what to do with it." Ethan stays quiet. Margot's fingers tighten around the mug. She takes another sip. Then she says, "I'm not used to having quiet time." Ethan looks at her, softly attentive. Margot adds, "I know that sounds like a silly complaint." "It doesn't," Ethan says. Margot's eyes shift. She continues slowly. "I was the person who always had a schedule," she says. "Always had somewhere to be." She pauses. Someone to meet, someone to help, someone to drive. The cafe holds the words. Rain taps the glass. Margot looks away, as if giving herself a moment. Ethan's voice is gentle. "You don't have to tell me," he says, "but you can." Margot swallows. She nods once. "My daughter moved out a few months ago," she says. The sentence is quiet, not dramatic, just a truth said softly. Ethan nods. Margot continues. "And my partner's been away," she says. "Long project, different city." She gives a small, almost apologetic smile. "So it's just me most nights." Ethan doesn't make it heavy. He simply nods. "That's a big change," he says. Margot exhales. "It is," she admits. She looks down again. I can do the day, she says. Errands, appointments, emails. She gives a small, tired smile. I've become very good at lists. Ethan's mouth softens. Margot says, but then the day ends. She gestures faintly toward the window. And there's this quiet, she says, and it feels too open. Ethan listens. Margot's voice lowers. It's not loneliness exactly, she says. She searches for the word. It's unfamiliar, she says, like the house is waiting for something. Ethan nods. That can feel loud, he says. Margot's shoulders drop just a little. She looks up. I came in here, she says, because I saw the light. Ethan nods. Margot says, it looked safe. Ethan's voice is low. I'm glad you came in, he says. Margot takes another sip. The tea warms her hands. Her breathing slows. Then she says, I don't want every evening to feel like a blank page. Ethan thinks. Then he says, maybe it doesn't have to. Margot looks at him. Ethan continues gently. Maybe it can be a ritual, he says. Margot blinks. A ritual, she repeats. Ethan nods. A small one, he says. Not to prove anything, just to carry the evening. Margot's expression softens. Ethan gestures gently to her tea. Like this, he says. A warm drink, a place to sit. Margot looks down at the mug. Then she says quietly, my grandmother used to make tea, she says. Ethan nods. Margot continues. Whenever it rained, she says, she'd put the kettle on without asking. She smiles faintly, and she always used too much honey. Ethan smiles gently. That sounds nice, he says. Margot's eyes drift, and the memory comes, soft and simple. Margot is younger, not a child, maybe a teenager. A rainy evening. She's at her grandmother's table. The kitchen light is warm. The window is fogged. Her grandmother stands by the kettle, humming quietly. Off key. The kettle whistles. She turns it off, a little too late. She pours water into mugs. She adds tea bags. Then she takes the honey jar. Margot watches her add honey. One spoon, then another. Then, as if she's been caught, her grandmother looks over. She grins. It's a rainy night, she says. We can be sweet. Margot laughs. Her grandmother sets the mug down. Then she pats Margot's hand. Gentle, steady, no lecture, no big advice, just warmth, and the feeling that the evening can be held. Margot blinks. The cafe returns. Her throat tightens, but in a soft way, not sad, just tender. She whispers, I forgot about that, she says. Ethan nods. Maybe that's an anchor, he says gently. Margot breathes out. She sits there longer, not rushing. She finishes her tea slowly. When she stands, she loosens her scarf a little, as if the cafe has made her feel less guarded. At the counter, she pays carefully. She places a bill into the tip jar. Then she pauses, and she reaches into her pocket. She pulls out a tiny dried flower, pressed flat, pale. She looks at it for a moment. Then she sets it beside the tip jar. Not showy, just present. A small reminder that sweetness can be simple. Ethan nods, quietly receiving it. "Good night," Margot says. "Good night," Ethan replies. Margot steps into the rain. The bell chimes, the door closes, and the cafe holds its warmth. It holds the small objects, quietly gathered. A folded note, a card with writing, a tiny dried flower, small miracles in ordinary form. Things that say, without words, "I was here. You helped. Thank you." You can let your thoughts float now, like rainwater moving along a gutter. You don't have to grab them. You can let them pass. And if sleep is close, you can let it come in its own gentle time. The last visitor arrives later than the others. The rain outside hasn't changed, still steady, still tapping. But the street is quieter now. Fewer cars, fewer footsteps. The bell above the door rings softly. And then, a pause. Ethan looks up. A person stands in the doorway, as if unsure. Not because they're shy, because they're exhausted. A young man, mid-20s maybe. A hood pulled up, rain on his shoulders, a backpack hanging heavy. His eyes look tired, in a way that isn't only sleep, the kind of tired that comes from thinking too much. He steps inside slowly, and the warmth hits him. His shoulders drop, like he didn't realize they were lifted. Ethan speaks gently. "Hey," he says, "come in." The young man nods. "Sorry," he says, voice low. I saw the light." Ethan nods. "No worries." The young man pushes his hood back. His hair is damp and slightly messy. He rubs his hands together. Ethan asks, "Want something warm?" The young man hesitates. "Tea?" he says. "Whatever's easiest." Ethan nods. "Sure." He asks for his name. The young man pauses, then answers. "Caleb," he says. "Caleb Harris." Ethan repeats it softly. Caleb chooses the smallest table, the one near the wall, half in shadow, as if he wants to be invisible. Ethan brings tea, black tea, with a small splash of milk offered on the side. Caleb wraps his hands around the mug. He stares into it, like he's trying to read an answer in the steam. Ethan returns to the counter. He begins small closing tasks, rinsing, wiping, restocking. The cafe has that late-night feel where time slows down. Caleb takes a sip. He winces slightly at the heat, then breathes out. He takes another sip, slower. Then, after a long moment, he speaks. "Do you ever," he says, "feel like you're behind your own life?" Ethan looks up. Caleb's voice is quiet, embarrassed maybe, like he knows the question is big. Ethan answers gently. Sometimes, he says. Caleb nods, as if relieved. He isn't strange. Caleb stares at his mug. He says, I'm supposed to be figuring things out. Ethan waits. Caleb continues. I'm trying to switch careers, he says. Or, I think I am. He laughs softly, bitterly, then stops himself. Sorry, he says quickly. I don't want to be loud. You're not, Ethan says. Caleb nods. He takes a breath. I went to school, Caleb says. Did what I was supposed to. He looks down. And now I'm stuck, he says. Ethan's eyes stay calm. Caleb continues, voice thinning. I can't tell if I'm lazy, he says, or scared. He presses his fingers to the side of the mug. Everyone else seems so certain, he says. Ethan hears the familiar shape of this worry. Not dramatic, not life or death, just the ache of being in between. Ethan asks gently, what do you want to do? Caleb's mouth opens, then closes. He shakes his head. That's the problem, he says. I don't know. Ethan nods. Caleb continues. I keep thinking there's a right answer, he says. And if I pick wrong, I'll ruin everything. Ethan leans slightly on the counter. He says, Can I tell you something I had to learn slowly? Caleb looks up. Ethan says, Sometimes there isn't one right answer. Caleb blinks. Ethan continues. Sometimes there are a few good directions, he says, and you learn by walking. Caleb's shoulders drop a fraction. He takes a sip. Then he says, I feel like I wasted time, he says. Ethan waits. Caleb continues. I stayed in something too long, he says, because it was safe. Ethan nods. Caleb looks up, eyes tired. And now I'm behind, he repeats. Ethan thinks. Then he says, Do you know what rain does? Caleb frowns slightly. Ethan continues. Rain doesn't rush, he says, but it still moves things. Caleb listens. Ethan says, It softens edges. It makes space. Caleb looks toward the window. The rain is steady, patient. Ethan continues. You might not be behind, he says. You might be in a season of softening. Caleb's mouth tightens. His eyes sting, but he blinks it away. Ethan doesn't push. He just stays steady. Caleb whispers, I don't feel brave, he says. Ethan nods. Brave doesn't always feel loud, he says. Caleb looks at him. Ethan continues. Sometimes brave feels like showing up, he says, even when you're unsure. Caleb stares into his tea, and the memory comes, small and quiet, like a page turning. Caleb is younger, not much younger, early 20s, a campus library. The air inside is warm, and the windows show rain rushing down like threads. Caleb sits at a table with a notebook open. He isn't studying, he's sketching. Tiny drawings in the margins, a cafe counter, a window with rain, a person holding a mug. He's not sure why he's drawing. He just needs to. A friend passes by. "Hey," the friend says, "you should join the club." Caleb looks up. "What club?" The friend says, "Design, illustration, whatever." Caleb laughs. "Nah," he says, "I'm not that kind of person." The friend shrugs. "Doesn't matter," they say. "It's just a room full of people making stuff." Caleb hesitates. Then he closes the notebook. He says no. He stays in his safe lane. He tells himself he'll do it later, when he's ready. But later kept moving, and readiness never arrived, like a package on a doorstep. Caleb blinks. The cafe returns. He looks at his hands. "I used to draw," he says quietly. Ethan nods. Caleb continues. "I stopped," he says, "because it didn't feel useful." Ethan's voice is gentle. "Maybe it was useful," he says, "just not in the way you were measuring." Caleb swallows. He says, "I don't even know where to start." Ethan nods. Then he says, "Start small." Caleb looks up. Ethan continues. "One sketch," he says. "One class, 1 hour." He pauses. "1 page," he adds. Caleb breathes out. His shoulders lower. He takes another sip of tea. The warmth spreads. He says quietly, "I can do 1 page." Ethan nods. Caleb finishes his tea. He sits for a few minutes more, just listening to rain, not thinking, not solving, just existing. When he stands, he moves slowly. He pays at the counter, hands slightly shaky, from cold or from feeling. Then he pauses. He reaches into his backpack and pulls out a small notebook. Worn edges. He opens it. He flips to a blank page. Then, right there beside the register, he draws. Not a masterpiece, just a few lines. A window, rain, a mug, a small light. He smiles slightly. Then he closes the notebook. He looks at Ethan. "Thanks," Caleb says, "for not making it a big thing." Ethan nods. "It doesn't have to be big," he says. Caleb steps into the rain. The bell chimes softly. The door closes. And now, the cafe is truly late. Ethan checks the clock. He turns down the music until it is almost nothing. He wipes the last table. He stacks chairs in slow, careful movements. He looks again at the small items gathered, the folded note, the card, the dried flower, and in his mind, the faces of the visitors. A man learning to put his phone away. A woman learning to build anchors. A person learning to begin again. Ethan stands still for a moment. He listens to rain, and he feels something quiet and warm move through his chest. Not excitement, not pride, just a sense that the evening mattered, in small ways, in human ways. He reaches for the folded note near the tip jar. This time, he opens it. Just once. Inside, Marcus's handwriting is simple. A few words, nothing dramatic. a promise in miniature. Ethan reads it silently. Then he folds it back, carefully, and places it in his notebook, behind the counter. A small miracle, kept safe. He turns off the pastry case light. The cafe dims. He locks the door. The bell does not ring now. Only the rain speaks. Ethan puts on his coat. He steps outside. The cool air meets him. Rain dots his shoulders. He pulls up his collar, and he begins his walk home through the quiet city. The streetlights blur softly in the wet air. His footsteps make small sounds on the pavement, and somewhere inside him, the day loosens, not solved, just set down. If you're drifting now, you can drift. You don't have to follow Ethan all the way home. You can let the rain carry you gently. And if you're awake, that's okay too. You can simply rest in the quiet between one moment and the next. Rain follows Ethan home, not as a storm, not as something sharp, just as a steady companion, tapping at his coat, threading through the streetlights, softening the edges of the city. The sidewalks shine. The painted lines on the road look darker, as if the world has been freshly inked. Ethan keeps his hands in his coat pockets. His shoulders are slightly hunched against the cool evening air. Not winter, not yet, but close enough to make the warmth of the cafe feel like a memory already slipping away. His steps are slow, not because he's tired in a heavy way, more like he's letting the night move at its own pace. A few blocks down, a small convenience store glows. A vending machine hums softly. The city is still awake, but quieter now, as if most people have already turned inward. Ethan passes a closed office building. The lobby lights are dim. A security guard sits behind a desk with a paper cup of coffee. Ethan nods, a small, familiar gesture. The guard nods back. No words. Rain speaks for both of them. Ethan turns onto his street, a narrow row of apartments, a few bicycles lined up under a small awning, a mailbox that squeaks when you open it. Ethan's building is nothing special, but it's home. He climbs the stairs, one careful step at a time. The stairwell smells faintly of wet concrete and laundry detergent. A neighbor's door has a tiny wreath still hanging from last season. Ethan reaches his floor. He unlocks his door. The click is quiet. He steps inside, and the world becomes smaller, warmer. The apartment is simple, a small living area, a low table, a couch with a blanket folded on one side, as if waiting, a lamp that casts a soft circle of light. Ethan kicks off his shoes. He sets his keys in a small dish. He hangs his coat. It drips a little, so he places it near the entrance where the floor mat can catch the water. He stands still for a moment. Rain is fainter here. Now it's just a distant hush behind glass. Ethan exhales. and without thinking, his hand goes to his pocket. He pulls out his phone. The screen lights up. A few notifications. Nothing urgent. A message from a friend about a game. A small reminder about a bill due next week. Ethan stares at the screen for a second. He feels the familiar pull, the little itch to open something, to scroll, to check, to fill the quiet with noise. He thinks of Marcus. He thinks of Jade turning her phone face down. He thinks of Caleb drawing one small page instead of trying to solve his whole life. Ethan lets the phone rest in his hand. Then he places it face down on the table. Not as a vow, not as a dramatic change, just as a small choice that makes the room feel calmer. He walks into the kitchen. It's small too. A sink, a kettle, a few jars of tea, a honey bottle, half full. Ethan fills the kettle and sets it on the stove. He doesn't really need tea, but the ritual helps. The kettle begins to warm, a faint sound, like the beginning of a story. Ethan rinses his hands. He dries them slowly. He glances at the clock. Not late exactly, but late enough that the day has worn a groove into him. Ethan opens the fridge. He takes out a small container of leftover rice. He looks at it, then closes the fridge again. Not hungry. Not yet. He leans against the counter and listens. The kettle warms. Rain whispers outside, and the apartment feels like a quiet boat floating in the night. When the kettle finally whistles, it's soft, not piercing, more like a reminder that time is moving. Ethan pours hot water into a mug. He drops in a tea bag. He watches it darken. He adds honey without measuring. Not too much, not too little. Just enough to turn the bitterness into something gentle. He carries the mug to the low table. He sits on the couch. The blanket is within reach. He doesn't pull it over himself yet. He holds the warm mug in both hands and lets the heat sink into his fingers. For a moment, he thinks about his day, not in a dramatic way, just in quiet snapshots. The glow of the cafe, the bell above the door, the way Marcus's shoulders lowered when he put his phone away, the way Jade's smile changed when she said the word anchors, the way Margot held her mug as if warmth could teach her how to live through evening, the way Caleb drew a window and rain and a mug, just a few lines, just enough to begin. Ethan takes a sip of tea. It's warm. It tastes like honey and something faintly floral. He stares at the blank wall for a moment. Then he reaches under the table and pulls out his notebook. It's not fancy. A simple cover. Pages that have softened over time. A pen tucked into the spine. Ethan opens it to the next empty page. The paper smells faintly, like ink and time. He rests the notebook on his lap He holds the pen without writing, yet he just breathes. And if you're still awake, you don't need to do anything. You don't need to follow every sentence. You can let your mind go loose, like a page turning itself in a quiet room. And if sleep is close, you can let it come. There's nothing you have to finish tonight. Ethan begins to write, not in perfect sentences, not like a novel, just small lines, a record of what happened. He writes about the rain. He writes about the cafe light and how it looked in the window, golden, steady. He writes about Marcus, not his whole story, just the way he said, quietly, that he didn't want his kid to remember him as a guy on a phone. Ethan pauses there. He draws a small line under the sentence, not as emphasis, just as a soft marker that it mattered. He writes about Jade, how she laughed and then grew quiet, how she turned her phone over, how she said, 1 day a week. Ethan's pen moves slowly. He writes about Margot, not the unfamiliar quiet, the honey. He writes, too much honey, a warm kitchen light, a steady hand, an anchor. Ethan writes about Caleb, 1 page, a sketch, a beginning. Then he stops. He taps the pen lightly on the edge of the notebook. The apartment is quiet. Rain hushes outside. Ethan turns the page back, 1 sheet, looking at older entries, dates, small notes. Some nights, nothing much happened. He wrote about a broken mug, a new batch of cookies, a song he heard through the wall from a neighbor's apartment. Other nights, there were moments. A regular customer who finally smiled. A stranger who left a kind note. A day when Ethan felt like he didn't belong anywhere. And then someone thanked him for the cafe, as if it mattered. Ethan doesn't think of himself as a person who changes lives. That sounds too big, too loud. But he does think about how people enter his cafe a little tense and sometimes leave a little softer, not fixed, not solved, just softer. And maybe that's enough. Ethan flips back to tonight's page. He adds 1 more line. Small miracles often look like paper. He pauses, then he stands. He sets the notebook back under the table. He carries his mug to the sink. He rinses it. The water runs, a small, steady sound. He washes a spoon, even though it isn't dirty, just because the motion is calming. Then he turns off the tap. Silence returns. Ethan walks back into the living area. His phone is still face down. He doesn't pick it up. He looks at the couch, at the blanket, at the lamp. He feels the pull of his usual habit. Games, late-night distraction, the bright glow of a screen, the feeling of being pulled away from his own thoughts. Sometimes it helps. Sometimes it makes him more tired. Ethan stands there for a moment, and he listens to his body, not dramatically, just honestly. He's tired. He's been running the cafe alone. He's been steady for others. He's been listening. And listening, even when it's quiet, is still work. Ethan turns off the lamp. He leaves one small light on in the hallway, a softer glow. He walks to the bathroom. He brushes his teeth slowly. He splashes water on his face. The cold wakes him for a moment, then releases him. He looks in the mirror. His face is familiar, not unhappy, just a little worn. He thinks about college, about how he went, because it was the next step, how he didn't have a single dream lighting his way. He remembers feeling guilty about that once, as if wanting less meant being less. But now, standing here in a quiet apartment, Ethan wonders if his life is simply the shape that fits him, not flashy, not noisy, but steady, a place of warm light on rainy nights, a listening ear, a notebook, a cup of tea. Maybe that is a life. Maybe that is enough. Ethan turns off the bathroom light. He walks into the bedroom. It's small too. A bed with plain sheets, a pillow that keeps its shape, a second pillow that he doesn't really need, but likes anyway. A window with thin curtains. Rain makes soft sound against the glass. Ethan pulls the curtains a little wider, not to see out clearly, just to let the streetlight blur in softly. He likes the way rain turns light into haze. He changes into sleep clothes, simple, comfortable. He slips under the covers. The sheets are cool at first, then warm quickly. Ethan lies on his back. He lets his arms rest at his sides. He closes his eyes. The rain is a steady hush, and his mind, as minds often do, tries to wander. It tries to gather old worries, small regrets, unfinished tasks, a loose string from the day. But Ethan doesn't chase it. He doesn't try to solve it. He remembers what he told others in different words, small choices, anchors, ritual, 1 page, 5 minutes, too much honey. Ethan breathes in, he breathes out, and he lets the day move farther away. If you're listening now, you can do the same. You don't have to fix anything. You don't have to plan anything. Tonight can simply be a quiet place, a warm room, a steady rain, a gentle story that asks nothing from you. You can let your shoulders be heavy. You can let your jaw unclench. You can let your thoughts drift like rainwater, finding its own path. And if sleep comes, you can let it come without effort. Ethan rolls to his side. He pulls the blanket a little higher. He feels the warmth settle around him like a soft boundary. He thinks briefly of the things left in the cafe, the folded note, the card, the dried flower, small objects, small evidence that the night mattered. He doesn't think of them as treasures, but he does think of them as threads, little threads between strangers, between lives, a reminder that people carry more than they show, and that sometimes they set something down in a safe place, even if it's only for an hour. Ethan imagines the cafe right now, darkened, locked, but still warm in his mind, a little island of amber light that exists even when the sign is off. He imagines the rain tapping the window, the chairs stacked, the counter clean, the notebooks behind the register, the quiet order, waiting. And he imagines, without forcing it, that tomorrow the sun might come out, or the rain might continue. Either way, the cafe will be there, Ethan will be there, and people will keep living their ordinary lives. They will carry their worries, they will carry their hopes, they will carry their small questions about what it means to do things right. And maybe, once in a while, they will find a small, warm place, a place that helps them remember they don't have to be perfect. They don't have to prove their life is valid. They can simply live it, one small choice at a time, one cup at a time, one page at a time. Ethan's breathing slows. His thoughts become softer, less sharp. The rain stays steady. The streetlight blur fades behind his eyelids, and the apartment holds him gently in the dark. If you're still awake, you can rest here too. You can let the night be quiet. You can let yourself be human. Nothing more is required. Just this: warmth, breath, rain, and the simple permission to stop trying for a little while. Ethan's body grows heavier. His mind grows dimmer. The day loosens completely. And somewhere between one breath and the next, sleep arrives, softly, naturally, like rain finding the window and tapping until the world finally lets go. Good night.